Hey guys, it's Sasha. Have you noticed how over the last 5 years, the internet has got worse? A lot worse. Yesterday, I went to Google and searched for an extra large dog crate. Before getting any results, I got 8 ads over here at the top. You can click the arrow on the right if you want to see some more ads because, well, 8 is just not enough. And then below the 8 ads with the arrow to see more ads, are 2 more ads, which means that on this query I got shown 10 ads before I got any actual results that weren't paid for. In fact, there are no organic search results available above the fold at all. Every single thing that you see on the page is a paid ad before you scroll. Then you go to Amazon and you search for some regular gadget, for example, a power bank, and you get a big ad at the top. Then you get another ad below, and if you scroll down, there is another ad below that. And not only that, but the products that you can see on Amazon are increasingly dominated by impossible to pronounce, no name, no reputation Chinese brands. No history, no way to know whatsoever if these guys adhere to any electrical or manufacturing standards, what they make this stuff out of. There are 2 ads for Seneca and Nobis. If you shop on Amazon, you might have noticed that almost every single product category is now dominated by this sort of thing. The next one is Amazon's Choice, but the title doesn't seem to have a brand at all. It's okay though, if you click through, you can find it right here in small font. It's Paidashu, but of course. But seriously, these brands only get better as you scroll further down. Here we have Vrork. I'm seriously struggling to pronounce this thing, and the reason is because these Chinese brands put any random letters of the English alphabet together to make up these brands on Amazon. We also have Vic Tonks. I mean, seriously, Vic Tonks. It is actually quite hard to go and find products where you have some reasonable expectation that the product will not break after 5 uses and won't kill you by exploding in your backpack one day. You pay for Amazon Prime, and after you pay for Amazon Prime, you get shown endless ads for products you don't want. Then you get shown a whole bunch of products from companies you've never ever heard of and have no way of checking or verifying. You go to watch an Amazon movie, and after paying your $15 a month for your membership, you have the option to then pay again to get the movies. Or you can watch ads. Back in 2017, Netflix tweeted, "Love is sharing a password." 6 years later, in 2023, Netflix threatened to sue its customers who shared their passwords, which has been very good business for Netflix. In the results that just came out, Netflix reported a new record number of customers. Apparently, since they started blackmailing their customers, they got a few new accounts. And in those 6 years between Netflix saying Love is sharing a password and actively threatening their customers for doing exactly that, the price of a Netflix subscription has roughly doubled. So Netflix shares went up 11% yesterday after beating expectations because, well, you know, fucking your customers over and sending them blackmail so that they give you more money happens to be a profitable business. And at the same time, I don't think I've seen a single new movie worth watching on Netflix in the last 4 years. And you know why the UX on Netflix has got worse and more confusing? Well, it's so that you don't notice the fact that no new movies actually get added to the platform. Because the business model has shifted from providing the best possible value, no expense spared, to squeezing as much money out of customers as possible while you're operating as a monopoly. And this is where the internet is right now. Over the last 20 years, since the late 1990s, the internet was an amazing place. You could go on Google and find whatever you want in a second. And you know, people who are under maybe 35 probably don't actually understand how people survived before the internet. And the amazing thing about that first stage of the internet is that every company was fighting tooth and nail for their users. Every company tried to give you the absolute best service so that they could grow their number of users. Every week, the service would just get better. New features would get added. Existing features would be improved. Google search became incredibly good. Amazon would deliver whatever you want, wherever you live, in 1 or 2 days. You didn't have to spend a whole day driving to the next nearest biggest city to buy that something. Netflix would let you watch any movie in the world at home by just clicking a button. Absolutely amazing. But now, 25 years later, all of those companies have achieved their goal. They have become monopolies. Google has actually just lost a major court case where they are now actually legally defined as a monopoly. And the problem with monopolies is that they can kind of do whatever they want. Once a company has enough dominance in a market, it becomes almost impossible for anybody else to compete. It would take tens or hundreds of billions of dollars and years of time to try and build a competitor to one of these businesses. So you don't like having a bunch of ads at the top of your search results? Well, what are you going to do about it? A tiny fraction of tech-savvy young people might go and use DuckDuckGo. But the reality is that 99.9% of people will not. So Google can go and show those people 10 ad slots per page. Because once your monopoly is secure, once absolutely nothing can come close to competing with you, once you have destroyed all of the competition and made it impossible for anyone to meaningfully compete and try to start competing with you, you have a license to print money. This is phase 2 of the internet. Every monopoly has stopped trying to make their service better. When was the last time you noticed that one of the services that you use had a meaningful improvement? The one thing that matters now, the only thing, is how to squeeze as many dollars as possible out of the users. Google makes so much money from ads that it now doesn't actually make sense to send people to helpful websites, because the longer people hang about on Google search, the more ads you can show them. If you send them to a shit result that does not in any way help them, they will then come back to Google to try again. And when that happens, Google can show them even more ads. The key is to make it look like you're trying to help the user. Send them to big, reputable websites, right? So that the user maybe doesn't notice what's actually happening. So I thought, okay, maybe the search results are shit because, I am looking at something that has shopping intent. Or maybe I'm signed into Google, so Google has my tracking cookies. They know what I'm looking for. So let's sign out of Google and search best road trips from Denver. So at the top, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 sponsored links. Again, not a single unpaid result appears above the fold in the window that you can see before you scroll. Not a single actual result on a Google search. Then you scroll down past the 4 ads and you have this section here. Road trips from Denver. See, it says from sources across the web, aka scraped. So a few tiny pictures with names of places. If you click them, you can see some generic mumbo jumbo information, but it doesn't really tell you anything specific. It gives you zero information about, the road trips that you're looking for. Remember when just a few years ago, if you searched this same exact thing, you would get a whole bunch of different websites with detailed itineraries, actually useful tips and guides. Well, the number 1 organic result for this query today is a Reddit post from 8 months ago. I can't decide where to go on a week-long road trip from the Denver area. What are some cool places to go for a week on a spring break? I'll be going as a loner and don't have a particular budget. I grew up in New Mexico, so I'd like a trip somewhere in the Plains or Texas. Just will be my first trip on my own. This is a hyper-specific question from someone which will probably not apply to 99% of other people looking at this query. Okay, let's go back to Google. The next result, number 2, is this post from TripAdvisor. And if you click it, it says that this post has been removed at the author's request. So the number 2 result is a deleted post on TripAdvisor. It's been deleted for some time now. Based on the comments, it looks like it was also a hyper-specific question, specifically about driving from Denver to Salt Lake City. The next 2 results are from Sixt, the car hire company, and from Hotels.com. Both of these give you a short list of 10 places with almost zero useful information, just a couple of generic sentences per place. There is no real attempt to help the user, but these pages rank because Sixt and Hotels.com are very big established companies. And by complete coincidence, both of these companies also spend a ton of money advertising on Google. It has become impossible to find the information that you want on Google because in September 2023 and in March 2024, Google released its helpful content updates. These updates removed the vast majority of small and medium-sized websites from search and replaced them with Reddit posts, big brand forums like TripAdvisor, and large websites who happen to spend a lot of money advertising on Google with shit articles that provide zero nutritional value. 2 years ago, if you searched for the same thing, you would get a large number of helpful, genuinely helpful results that give you an insightful comparison. Today, those websites, as good as, don't exist because Google does not show them anymore. Lazy Trips is one of those websites, and we have an article that shows you a list of the best road trip destinations from Denver. You can sort them by distance if you want. You can see all of them on a map. You can click around, check out the different options. You can click on an individual itinerary with suggested places to see along the way, distances, times. You can customize it. You can save it. You can have all of this information, all of these tools, all completely for free. The issue for people like us who run small and medium-sized websites and do not spend lots of money with Google is that we are all now invisible because our website with all of that useful information, useful tools, is less helpful, according to Google, than an irrelevant question on Reddit and a deleted post on TripAdvisor. You will not find us on Google because we are not a big website. Our Google traffic is down 98% since Google implemented these changes over a year ago, and so is the traffic of hundreds of thousands of other websites. You won't find any of those websites or helpful blogs either. This is not something that you will hear about on the news. It's not something that is specific to travel either. There are hundreds of thousands of websites just like us who have essentially been deleted by Google, and the reason they have been deleted by Google is so that Google can make more money. Now Google is also busy training its AI to show more and more AI snippets so that even more people stay on Google instead of leaving to go get the information from a helpful website. Every big monopoly is now busy squeezing every last dollar from their users at the user's expense. They no longer need to try to win over their users by being the best at what they can do, by offering the best service, by trying to improve it. No, that's what happened back in 2010. The internet today is fast becoming a complete shithole. You can't trust reviews of products or of restaurants or of hotels or of anything because reviews are now mostly fakes generated by spam factories in Asia. It is impossible to get any content without being served ad after ad after ad, rammed down your throat, and every few months the number of ads gets one bigger. You get sucked in with that cheap subscription to a service, and the service is great, but while the subscription is cheap, that company is losing billions of dollars. But losing billions of dollars means that nobody else can compete, because the only way to compete with a company losing billions of dollars is to also lose billions of dollars. But then after all of the competition dies, after the monopoly is established, these companies go and jack the price of the subscription by 30 or 40% or 100% every few months, because these customers are now captive. They have used your service for years. They have grown accustomed to it. They have their customer history, they have their account history, they have their favorites, whatever, they have their profiles, and there are now no competitors because all of those competitors died off while the prices were low before the company became a monopoly. So what choice has the customer got? They just suck it up, and they pay double or triple for the same subscription while getting inferior service and getting served more ads. And then there's the rest of the internet. Facebook used to be the place where you linked with your friends and distant family, things like that. Now, Facebook is overrun with bots posting junk and 70-year-olds sharing cat memes. Maybe my experience is anecdotal, but seriously, who under the age of 50 actually uses Facebook for something other than logging into that one or two Facebook groups that you need to every now and then. LinkedIn used to be a useful tool for work and professional connections. Now it's a cesspit of self-congratulating narcissist assholes posting made-up motivational stories about how they employed a homeless person last week, and now this week he is the best salesperson in the company. Look how well they did. Google did a data sharing partnership with Reddit, and now, in completely unrelated news, every single Google search query gives you a Reddit result at the top, and Reddit traffic has increased by 1000% in a year. We are in the final phase of enshittification, where none of the monopolies give a shit about their users, and everyone is focused squarely on making those users bleed as much money as possible, squeeze every last drop out, while the service gets worse and worse. Every online news website is now introducing eye-wateringly expensive subscriptions. And after you pay for the subscription, you still get shown so many ads, it's impossible to read the content that you just paid $400 to subscribe to. Uber's dynamic pricing means that you have to remortgage your house if you want to travel at peak time. The business model used to be, keep losing money until you IPO. Because when the IPO comes, the founders can then sell their shares and live happily forever after. Now, all of those startups have already done the IPO some time ago. They've collected the paychecks, and you can't IPO again. So the only option left is to squeeze the customers before your business, that is a monopoly today, gets eventually replaced by the next disruptor tomorrow, because that new company renders your old business model irrelevant. Here is a search result I just did for baby peacock. 7 out of the 11 images at the top of the results are AI generated bullshit. We now have an internet where there is a greater than 50% chance that when you look something up, the answer will be fake or wrong or incoherent or outright dangerous or try to screw you over, or all of the above. It's sad because just 5 or 10 years ago, that wasn't the case.